Science is supposed to have all the answers. Most of the time, it does. But every now and then, we stumble across something that completely breaks the rules of physics. I'm Mike with List 25, and these are 25 things that make scientists question reality itself. 25. Ancient genetic legacy. Tens of thousands of years ago, ancestors of people living across the Pacific interbred with an extinct human relative called the Denisovans. A recent Yale study found that this didn't happen just once, but at least 3 separate times. Researchers looked at genomes from Papua New Guinea and surrounding islands, finding over 3,000 Denisovan genetic variants still active in people today. The wild part is that most of these variants control your immune system. It means a species that vanished millennia ago is actively running your body's defense against viruses right now. 24. Celestial atmospheric twins. For years, photographers in Canada kept spotting a strange purple streak of light in the night sky. It wasn't the northern lights because those are green or red. Scientists eventually named it Steve, which is short for Strong Thermal Emission Velocity Enhancement. Steve is a river of super hot electrically charged plasma flowing along Earth's magnetic field. But now, scientists have spotted a second one. This twin streak moves eastward near dawn, and it means huge atmospheric phenomena can hide in plain sight for decades without anyone noticing. 23. The galactic hole. Look at the spiral galaxy NGC 247, and you'll notice something deeply upsetting. There's a massive, empty gap right on one side of its core, like a cosmic bullet punched a hole straight through the disk. Astronomers think it might be the result of a collision with a clump of invisible dark matter. But the SETI community has a much crazier theory. They think an advanced alien civilization might be building Dyson spheres around stars, expanding outward and harvesting entire solar systems, leaving a dark void behind them. 22. Living mushroom frog. Back in 2024, a photo went viral showing a tiny frog in India with a live mushroom sprouting directly out of its flank. This wasn't a hitchhiker, it was actually growing there. It belongs to a group called bonnet mushrooms, which normally feed on dead, decaying plants, not living animals. Scientists are completely baffled because amphibian skin is highly effective at blocking fungal infections. The best guess is a tiny injury gave the mushroom a chance to break through the armor. 21. Rogue planet systems. Space is packed with trillions of rogue planets drifting through the dark without a parent star to orbit. But they might not be as lonely as we thought. Researchers at the University of St. Andrews discovered that some of these massive worlds have their own disks of dust swirling around them. Out of 8 rogue planets they studied, 6 of them had these rings. It looks like these homeless planets are actively forming their own miniature solar systems out in the void. 20. Frozen relic galaxies. While most of the universe is constantly changing and colliding, some corners are eerily quiet. Scientists call these fossil galaxies. They created all their stars right after the Big Bang and then completely shut down. Astronomers recently found one called KIDS J0842 plus 0059, which holds the mass of 100 billion suns. This massive cosmic structure has stayed completely frozen in time for 7 billion years, which is roughly half the age of existence itself. 19. Tiny dinosaur arms. We've been arguing about why the T-Rex had such ridiculously tiny arms for a century. One theory is a simple evolutionary trade-off. As dinosaur skulls grew larger and deadlier to handle all the hunting, the arms shrank because they just weren't worth the biological energy anymore. Another, darker theory suggests short arms kept them from getting accidentally bitten off by other T-Rexes during crowded feeding frenzies. Or they might just be useless leftovers, like the tiny leg bones hidden inside modern whales. 18. Black hole stars. In 2025, the James Webb Telescope looked at the Phoenix Galaxy Cluster, which holds a black hole massive enough to equal 10 billion suns. A monster that size should blast the area with so much radiation that stars cannot form. Instead, this galaxy is churning out new stars at a ridiculous rate. Webb solved the puzzle by finding a hidden layer of gas sitting at 540,000 degrees, This specific layer acts like a cooling bridge, allowing cosmic material to settle down and form stars right next to the beast. 17. Recycled dinosaur urine. The water on our planet operates in a closed loop, constantly recycling itself for billions of years. A chemistry professor at Carnegie Mellon decided to calculate the odds that your tap water was once inside a prehistoric animal. He estimated the total daily volume of animal urine across history, and the math shows it takes about 19 million years to pee out an entire ocean. Since dinosaurs vanished 66 million years ago, the global water supply has been filtered through animal bodies multiple times over. It really makes you look at a glass of water a little differently. If you had to guess which historical figure's body recycled into your tap water today, who are you hoping for? Drop it in the comments, because I'm trying not to think about it during breakfast. 16. Flightless bird migration. Ostriches, emus, and kiwis are massive, flightless birds scattered across different continents in the southern hemisphere. Except the kiwi. They're not all that massive, but anyway. For a long time, nobody knew how they got there without crossing oceans. The mystery started unraveling when researchers analyzed a 56 million year old fossil at the Smithsonian called Lithornis promiscuus. This ancient relative was built for serious long-distance flight. It turns out their ancestors simply flew across the world first, settled down, and then independently evolved to drop flying entirely. 15. Ancient insect songs. Jurassic forests were incredibly loud, and we now know exactly what they sounded like. Scientists examined a 165 million year old fossilized bush cricket and recreated its call based on the microscopic ridges on its wings. Instead of a sharp chirp, it produced a low, continuous pitch that vibrated through the trees. Other ancient insects were already using ultrasound frequencies completely out of range for human ears, running an entire hidden network of communications right under the noses of predators. It was probably just the Jurassic Park theme. 14. Double exploding stars. Supernovas are standard cosmic business, but astronomers recently got visual proof of a bizarre double detonation supernova. This happens when a dead white dwarf star slowly siphons material away from a neighboring star. Once it steals too much mass, it hits a volatile tipping point. The surface layer ignites in a massive explosion, which sends a violent shockwave ripping inward toward the core, triggering a second, even larger explosion from the inside out. 13. The global ringing. In November 2018, something caused the entire planet to ring like a bell for 20 minutes straight, and mainstream seismologists completely missed it. The only reason we found out is because an amateur geologist noticed a weird pattern on a live online feed. The wave started near an island by Madagascar and triggered sensors in Chile, Canada, and Hawaii. Normal earthquakes produce messy, chaotic frequencies. This event produced a single, perfectly clean signal that repeated exactly every 17 seconds without any actual shaking felt on the surface. 12. The lefty mystery. Around 90% of the human population is right-handed, and our evolutionary tree shows we have favored that side for nearly 2 million years. A recent study suggests this trait locked in when our ancestors started walking on two legs, freeing up our hands for complex toolmaking as our brains grew. But if evolutionary heavily favored right-handed coordination to build civilization, it leaves a glaring question. Why does a stubborn 10% of the population remain left-handed? 11. Monster galaxy clusters. Our galaxy is massive, but it's just a speck inside cosmic superclusters. To understand the scale, if the Milky Way were a small coin, a supercluster would be the size of an entire football field. Estonian scientists recently mapped the Einasto supercluster, which weighs a mind-blowing 26 million billion times the mass of our Sun. This structure is so insanely large that a beam of light would need 360 million years just to travel from one side to the other. 10. Icy subsurface oceans. Enceladus is a tiny moon of Saturn, only about 300 miles wide, but it hides a massive liquid ocean beneath its icy crust. In 2005, scientists noticed giant geysers blasting water vapor and ice crystals into space. New data reveals these plumes are connected directly to that deep core ocean. This means a future spacecraft could fly right through the spray and sample an alien ocean for signs of life without ever having to land. 9. Volcanic quartzite mystery. The remote island of Anjouan was formed by a volcano 4 million years ago, but it's covered in a rock called quartzite. This is a massive geological headache because quartzite doesn't come from volcanoes. It forms when quartz sandstone gets crushed by immense tectonic pressure over millions of years. Geologists think a chunk of an ancient supercontinent sank to the sea floor, and a volcano later grew right underneath it, dragging the continental rock up to the surface. 8. Rainforest chemical reactions. During a severe drought in the Amazon rainforest, atmospheric scientists tracking the air picked up something completely unexpected. When trees get stressed, they emit specific chemicals. But when the rains return, the forest suddenly releases a wave of brand new compounds never seen in a rainforest before. One of them is beta-udesmol, the chemical human cells use as an anti-inflammatory to heal damage. It looks like the entire rainforest was chemically treating its own wounds. 7. Single-celled mazes. Think about a single-celled organism called a choanoflagellate. It looks like a tiny balloon with a tail. Not exactly an intellectual powerhouse. But when scientists put them inside microengineered mazes, these little blobs drop their tails, stretch their bodies, and actively squeeze through the narrow gaps. Because these creatures are the closest living single-celled relatives to animals, this shape-shifting behavior might show exactly how complex animal movement evolved in the first place. 6. The empty aurora. In February 2019, the sky over Iceland lit up with a massive green aurora shaped exactly like a fire-breathing dragon. It was stunning, but it deeply confused NASA. Auroras are caused by solar activity, specifically sunspots throwing charged particles at Earth. The problem is that scientists didn't record a single sunspot during that entire month. The sun was completely quiet, yet the dragon appeared anyway, proving we still don't fully understand our own space weather. 5. The unknown boundary. We spend a lot of time looking at Mars and Jupiter, but the real mystery is happening past Neptune. The outer solar system is mostly unmapped and packed with icy remnants from the birth of our universe. Scientists have cataloged about 3,000 of these Kuiper Belt objects, but models show there could be hundreds of thousands of massive rocks hiding out there, completely dark, along with a potentially uncovered giant planet. 4. The Bubblegum Lake. Australia's Lake Hillier doesn't look like real water. It's a bright, solid bubblegum pink. Scientists trace the bizarre neon color to a mix of specialized green algae and unique microorganisms that produce beta-carotene to protect themselves from the extreme environment. There's also a species of pink brine shrimp living inside the water. The lake is so incredibly saturated with salt that you can hop in and float effortlessly without trying. I've done that at the Great Salt Lake. Smells terrible. 3. Foggy ocean worlds. The James Webb Telescope might find the first definitive proof of alien life by ignoring Earth-like planets entirely. Rocky Earth-like worlds are incredibly difficult to analyze, so astronomers are focusing on Hessian worlds instead. These are massive planets covered in deep global oceans and wrapped in thick, foggy atmospheres. Scientists are scanning these skies for methyl halides, a specific group of gases that, on Earth, are only made by living marine algae and bacteria. 2. Shrapnel from planets. For 40 years, astronomers picked up a bizarre repeating X-ray signal coming from the center of the Helix Nebula. They finally figured out they're watching a cosmic crime scene. A dead white dwarf star at the center completely shredded a planet that drifted too close. Other planets in the system slowly nudged its orbit over millions of years, and the rocky debris raining down onto the dead star's surface is creating those massive radioactive flares. 1. The clockwise cosmos. There is a massive anomaly sitting right at the beginning of time. When the James Webb Telescope looked back at the earliest galaxies in the universe, it found that 2/3 of them are spinning in the exact same clockwise direction. Galaxy rotation is supposed to be completely random. This discovery has led some astrophysicists to propose a mind-bending theory. The entire universe itself was born spinning on an axis right from the Big Bang. If the entire universe has been spinning like a giant carnival ride since day one, it changes everything we know about physics. Click here to check out our video on 25 of the craziest scientific discoveries you missed in 2024. As always, I'm Mike Estrin. Stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one.